It is one of the largest strikes in Canadian history. 155,000 federal government workers walked off the job yesterday. Here in Manitoba, 8,800 federal public servants are on strike, with picket lines set up across Winnipeg and other centres in this province. The strike has Keystone Agricultural Producers worried. It's raising concerns about potential impacts on Manitoba farmers and the agricultural sector. CAP President Jill Verwey joins us now. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show, Jill.
Hello and good afternoon.
How concerned are you about this strike right now?
Well, I think it definitely has a concern for our sector because of the number of federal employees that have a direct relation to offering either programs or services for the agricultural industry, and what impact specifically over the long term could have a drastic impacts on the farmers at the end. So a speedy conclusion and negotiation, and we certainly respect the rights of Canadian workers to collective action, and hope for a speedy negotiation and conclusion to going forward.
Okay, let's break this down a little bit more. What worries do you have about how this might affect the movement of grain for farmers?
Well, the Canadian Grain Commission employees play a essential role in our grain handling system through outward inspection, our export certification, and the producer payment security is also affected by this strike action. So, collectively going forward, it'll firstly, I guess, have an impact on backlogs, certainly, and then affect producers' ability to deliver grain, and ultimately, could tarnish the reputation of the Canadian grain sector if it continues because of problems that would exist or could be a result of this. Mm-hmm. So having it rectified and quickly, and I guess having the right contingency plans in place to ensure that it doesn't affect producers and ultimately affect reputation of the Canadian grain industry.
Mm-hmm. And backlog because farmers are still trying to move their 2022 stock. Is that right?
For sure. Yeah, like a number of farmers are looking at, we still have some grain to market from last year. We also, are right now purchasing inputs for our crop for this year. So any, backlog or that is caused will could affect both of those things.
How big of a concern is this right now, Jill, given the time of the year that we're at? I mean, it is spring. A lot of farmers now would be preparing to put their crop in the ground, right?
That's right. And certainly, I guess we can look out the window, and I guess Mother Nature isn't helping us out at all as far as getting to the field before we normally would. But having this impact our industry at this point in time, another thing to highlight is programs such as the Temporary Foreign Worker Program. If we have problems or no contingency in place for that program specifically, then Manitoba farmers are in a position where right now we rely on those temporary foreign workers to come and assist with getting the crop in the ground. So if there's problems there and no contingency plan in place, then that'll definitely it is a concern of ours for producers here in Manitoba.
Mm-hmm. Some workers are deemed essential in all departments. What sense do you have about what that will mean for farmers during the strike?
Well, I think we want to ensure that agriculture continues. It is essential, and that those contingency plans are in place to ensure that there are workers there, so that it continues to be business as usual for the ag sector, and that's the importance. With our organization, writing letters to our federal Minister of Agriculture, working with the Canadian Federation of Agriculture to instill that importance with the departments in Ottawa. I think it's to make sure that our voice is heard, and to make sure that there are plans in place, and that this, in the end, we don't want it to negatively affect our farmers and producers.
Your group expressed concerns to the federal government and the union prior to the strike. What did you hear, or did you hear back at all from either the government or the union?
Well, I think we've certainly continued to raise our concerns with the federal government, and hopefully through our efforts with continued dialogue, that we make sure that they understand the urgency of our concerns, and that going forward, that there's plans in place, and hopefully instilling the urgency to come to an agreement in short term, rather than having it drawn out.
Jill, how worried are you about how the strike could potentially affect farmers' cash flow, or kind of the future kind of impact that this could have?
I think that the length of the strike, certainly, and I think having that immediate and direct conversation right now to have that urgency known, and to continue the dialogue, continue working and ensuring that our voice is heard, and that so that the repercussions aren't felt by the producers.
Jill, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today here on the show. Much appreciated. Thank you once again.
Thanks very much, and thanks, Marjorie.
Jill Verwey is president of Keystone Agricultural Producers. CBC News is asking the union for a comment on this story.